I had an intrusive thought today, and that thought was, in theory, if I was the world's laziest serial killer, could I just DoorDash everything I needed to commit my crimes without the algorithm flagging me, without getting banned? And if they do notice what you order and they eventually flag you, at what point do they ban you? So that's why today I'm gonna be experimenting a little bit. I'm gonna be ordering in waves extremely suspicious items of serial killer nature to see if and when DoorDash bans me. Hopefully they don't send a SWAT team into my house, because I really don't know what's gonna happen. And I already ordered the first batch of items. Javier is at Target right now. He should be here soon. So let's see how this goes. All right, so the first delivery I would consider successful. Javier walked up the stairs. He did yell my name after he dropped the items off at the door, which is odd. That's never happened in my entire DoorDash recipient history. So I'd recommend, if you're watching this, Javier, please don't yell your customer's name after you drop the items off. But then again, it's better than opening my door and recording me with my cock out, like that DoorDash driver who got fired the other day. And keep in mind, my purchases, I'm trying to paint a picture here. I'm really trying to trigger the algorithm into thinking I'm a serial killer. So, we gotta start in chronological order. First things first, you need gloves. No fingerprints can be on any of the items involved in this crime, so you need to buy gloves. That was my first purchase. I don't know why, but every time I put on latex gloves, I feel like I'm about to give somebody a prostate exam. The best prostate exam of their life, to be exact. Haha. Kerplunk, you went way over budget with this video. We're not making any profit. You gotta sell all these items to your dumbass audience.
Yeah, no, that's a great idea. Yeah, of course, yeah.
Okay, good. Because the shareholders, they're asking me what the profit margins are on this video, and it's not looking good. We gotta make the shareholders happy.
Of course, yeah, make the shareholders happy. That's the whole point of the channel, the shareholders.
Hey guys, today I'm listing one of the rarest items ever put online. It's a pair of gloves. But this pair of gloves, it's no normal pair of gloves. It was actually once worn by Pokimane herself. She allegedly used these to open fan mail. Mostly letters from dudes asking her to step on them, but that part's not important because these were made in a factory in China with ethical sourcing. Yes, we fed these children steaks and Michelin grade Fruity Pebbles as they worked their 14-hour shifts. $19.99, it's a hell of a deal. And as you know, I respect and love you guys, and I would only sell you products that I use myself. I use these gloves every day. High quality stuff. So the second item I included to trigger the algorithm a little bit is I got binoculars, okay? Because to me, when I think of a serial killer, I'm thinking of somebody who's staking out at somebody's house, sitting in their car, watching, looking for the routine, trying to figure out a good time to strike. And unfortunately, Target was out of real binoculars.
You suck ass.
But they did have Leapfrog children's binoculars, which, I mean, these things were fucking $99. So I'm pretty sure they're real binoculars, but I guess there's only one way to find out. I don't know how to fucking work these. Oh, wait a second. Oh, because I'm staring at a wall that's 2 feet away from me.
The hell is that thing? Hey, it's flipping me off. What the hell? It looks like a Bigfoot.
Okay, these things actually work. Okay, so not only are these real binoculars, but they have night vision. I don't know if you can read that. And they could also take pictures. So I thought these kids' binoculars would probably not be ideal for a serial killer stalking their prey, but they're more capable than really any binoculars. These are probably perfect. I endorse this product. If you are a serial killer who needs night vision and screenshot capability on your binoculars, Leapfrog, check them out. This product is suspiciously perfect for nefarious purposes. Anyways, let's move on to the third item. We have gloves, we have binoculars, and of course, we have an AirTag. Let's be real, AirTags are used for two reasons. One of them is, well, if you lose something, you'll be able to find it, but a lot of stalkers use AirTags. They put them underneath people's cars and shit. They'll bump into you in public, they'll slip one in your pocket. There's some sick bastards out there. So tracking device acquired. I'm not even gonna take this out of the box just because I think we all know what an AirTag is. And it doesn't do anything exciting. You guys know what it does, it tracks things.
Hey guys, I'm back, and I have an even better deal than before. This one is a top tier bargain, let me tell you. This AirTag right here, it's no ordinary AirTag. It's actually the same exact AirTag that led Navy SEALs to the Bin Laden compound. Yes, this AirTag right here is the reason that we were able to track down Osama bin Laden.
We got him.
And not only are you getting an AirTag that tracked down Osama bin Laden, you're getting these binoculars right here. And while these are not real binoculars, they're not Navy SEAL grade, I will tell you, it has a learning system on it, and it can increase your IQ by 10 points. Yes, you watch some videos on this, and you could go from technical retardation due to the definition of retardation, which I think is an IQ of under 80, to competent human being. You could probably be a guy at Walmart that checks people's receipts after you watch a few videos on these. That's a dream job for me. Talk about good benefits and fair pay.
Bringing us to our next item, I think everybody knows that if you're gonna be staking out somebody's house for a long period of time, you need diapers, adult diapers, XL to be specific. I got a dump truck. Just making sure they're not used, you never know. Oh my God. These are freaking huge. How do I look? The adult diapers, they're necessary for obvious reasons, right? You're sitting outside somebody's house, you got the binoculars, you already successfully used the AirTag to find where they live. You need adult diapers because you're gonna be shitting and pissing yourself. You might be there for 24 hours. What are you gonna knock on their door and ask to use their bathroom? No, you do it the way that men do it. You stew in your piss and shit until your mission is complete.
Just to recap, our first successful order, it was an AirTag, binoculars, gloves, and adult diapers.
All right, so good news, guys. The second order has been accepted. So far, DoorDash is not seeing any red flags. I will say the first order, it was kind of giving this guy shits himself more than serial killer, but I think this second order is really gonna drive that serial killer trope home, and hopefully I get banned. Actually, hopefully I don't get banned because I do kind of use DoorDash sometimes, but I mean, for the sake of the video, hopefully I get banned.
But just when I thought everything was going smoothly, I got this message. They may not have white duct tape in that brand, but I can get you close to 60 yards in another. To which I responded with the most suspicious thing I could think of, which was, yeah, I don't really think color matters for what I'm using it for. Just hurry up, Samuel. Make sure you get here quick, okay? I need the duct tape now. Little does Samuel know that he's an accessory to a theoretical murder. No, but actually Samuel's like super helpful. He went above and beyond to try and get me the correct duct tape, which I gotta say, Samuel, if you're watching, you're not watching, nobody's gonna watch this, but Samuel, you're the man. Great customer service, you deserve the best in life. Everybody clap it up for Samuel.
All right, order number 2 has arrived. I already spoiled this item right here in the second batch of suspicious items, which is duct tape. Obviously, duct tape, criminals use it to put tape over people's mouth and, I don't know, tape them into a chair. It's not suspicious if you order it on its own, but if you combine all the other things we ordered, you add the duct tape on top, it's a little suspicious. But I glossed over that because apparently DoorDash will just deliver you a 1.25 pound forged steel cobalt axe if you ask for it. I'm surprised at this point that they won't just send a rifle to your house. I want to take a few hacks with this bad boy, but first I want to say, I think that's the only time in my entire life that I'll be excited to have received a notification on my phone saying that my DoorDash driver is approaching with an axe. Somewhat of a threatening message I got there, but to be honest, Samuel seemed a little thrown off. I think he was expecting some sort of sexy lumberjack to answer the door, and he got me. And the most outdoorsy thing I've done in the past month is wait for an Uber. So, needless to say, he was very disappointed. As you can see by the dents, I tried already a few times, but I forgot to hit record. So, let's do it again. Hiya! Hiya! It ain't working as good as I anticipated, but it is sharp. All right, so now we got the axe. At this point, I mean, you just gotta assume this is the item of choice that the serial killer chooses to use. It's just very cliche, an axe murderer. It's just the first thing that popped into my head. DoorDash, at this point, I've gone from a guy who shits himself a lot to, I think this is pretty suspicious. There should be some red flags. And to round out the first order, we got some rope. When you buy rope on DoorDash, the real delivery is the wellness check that comes after, because there's really only two types of people who DoorDash rope to their home, and that's people going camping and people who are definitely not going camping. Let me give you an example. The Outdoor Boys, going camping. Jeffrey Dahmer, definitely not going camping. Bear Grylls, going camping. Mark Rober, definitely not going camping. You can't convince me that a man that smiles like that does not have skeletons in his closet. And by skeletons, I mean a harem of decommissioned Tesla bots that he uses to... I mean, you gotta think the guy who delivered this had some sort of inkling that this is a little bit weird of a combination to be ordering. But nonetheless, the limit has not been hit, so we will continue. I'm gonna be so pissed if SWAT just kicks down my door. I hope they don't do it for their own sake, okay? Because imagine kicking in somebody's door and seeing a grown man sitting there wearing a diaper with Feastables in one hand and an axe in the other. That's something nobody should ever see. All right, I'm genuinely a little bit surprised at this point that I haven't been banned from DoorDash, but this next order, I'm just gonna make it blatantly obvious what's happening here. Just to recap our first two successful DoorDash orders without getting banned, we got an AirTag, binoculars, gloves, and adult diapers in the first order, and then the second order, we got an axe, rope, and duct tape. Order number 3 has arrived, and opening my door and picking up this delivery definitely had me feeling the most suspicious. I halfway expected a police officer to be outside when I opened the door. Because in my mind, you can't just order all this stuff. In my mind, somebody notices that all this stuff's being bought and the police are alerted. But I must live in fantasy land because, as you'll see, this very sketchy order made it to my door, no questions asked. Starting with, of course, safety goggles. Why do I have safety goggles, you ask? Well, that's a great question. It's the same reason I have these sponges, because you gotta clean up the mess. If there's blood everywhere, you're gonna get caught. So a serial killer is always gonna order sponges. I mean, safety glasses, it's more theatrical than anything. Quite frankly, I don't think a bloodthirsty murderer is too concerned with his eyeball safety. But I digress. And of course, you gotta get Clorox, all right? You got bleach. Now the evidence is stacking up. If you're looking at the evidence board, it's not looking good. And there's only a few things that could make it worse at this point. Because of course, the bleach, the sponges, we're cleaning up a mess. And if you combine the previous orders, it's pretty obvious what this mess is. But to make it a little bit more obvious, I got some heavy-duty trash bags. And these obviously meant to be very strong. I don't even think I could. Fuck. Yeah, I mean, with extreme force, you could rip a hole in it, but these are meant to carry very heavy stuff, which should be a little suspicious. But don't worry, because this order's not over yet. I got an item that I really think ties everything together. I really think that this item is gonna tie the narrative together in a way that's undeniable. It's a basic Spanish book. Any good criminal knows you gotta flee the country. Los felinos son carnívoros y comen otros animales. Do you know what that means? Me neither. That's why I got the book. Okay, I don't know Spanish. Dating in America is difficult.
With the rise of feminism and overall just propaganda from the government, let's be real, women, well, they have high standards for themselves regardless of what they look like. But you know what? Not everywhere in the world is like that, which is why I want to sell you guys basic Spanish premium 3rd edition. If you want to go to Colombia, if you want to go to Mexico and find yourself a foreign baddie, well, you need to speak their language. And this book right here, it's guaranteed to snag you a foreign baddie, and it's not for the reason you think. It's not because your Spanish is going to be great, although that is a nice side effect of reading this book. But the real reason in which you need this book is it's signed by Bad Bunny. And for those of you who don't know, Latina bitches, they love Bad Bunny. So if you just show them that book, you're almost guaranteed to find a foreign Latina baddie wife. Or your money back. Well, we don't give money back returns, but for just $99.99, you can get that Spanish 3rd edition premium book. And you know what? I'll even throw in a backup plan for if you can't find the love of your life in Colombia. Well, here's a backup option for you. All for $99.99. A great bundle deal. Back to the program.
But now if you take a look at the evidence board, there's a clear story here. Somebody did something very bad and they're fleeing the country. They're going to some sort of Spanish speaking country. And I'm starting to think that DoorDash they're not gonna ban you for anything. I don't think they keep track of what you're buying, which is unfortunate. But I have one final test, because there is a cherry on top that I really think alleviates DoorDash's plausible deniability in this case, because if they deliver this final delivery, it's fucking obvious that DoorDash is willing to be an accessory to murder, all in the name of profit.
Okay, so just to recap the first 3 successful orders we've had without DoorDash banning us. We got an AirTag, we got binoculars, we got gloves, we got adult diapers, we got an axe, we got rope, we got duct tape, we got heavy-duty trash bags, we got bleach, sponges, and safety glasses. And last but not least, a tutorial book on how to speak Spanish.
Well, I hate to say it, my final DoorDash delivery has arrived, and it's a shovel. Eileen, you failed. You failed me. And it's not just a shovel, but it's a sorry for your loss card. But I think it's safe to say that if you're a lazy serial killer, DoorDash will deliver everything you need to your door and they won't ban you. I don't know if there's a way DoorDash would ban you, because I feel like I ordered just about as suspicious as a combination of items in sequential order can get, and not even a warning, nothing. They just let it happen. So I think that answers the question. DoorDash, you can pretty much order anything. They won't question anything. Am I on an FBI watch list now? That's a different question.
A few moments later.
So I found this article of some dude in 2025, just a few months ago, doing the same thing that I did in this video, but for real. It says, delivery app driver gets order for zip ties, bleach, and a hatchet. Here's what he did. A hostage freed from a Texas hotel room this week has a perceptive delivery driver and an astute hotel manager to thank for saving their life. Officers with the Sweetwater Police Department said they responded to the Sweetwater Inn Monday, shortly before noon, about receiving a call about a suspicious delivery made to Neil Cooper, age 42. Cooper ordered garbage bags, zip ties, bleach, and a hatchet using the delivery app, police said. So he quite literally ordered all the same items that I ordered. I guess this is the guy right here. I wouldn't be surprised if he threw a few burgers on that order as well. The driver told the hotel manager about the suspicious items, prompting the call to police. Cooper allegedly barricaded himself inside the room and claimed to have a gun. While officers worked to establish communication, the individual believed to be a hostage, so I guess he had a hostage and he was afraid the hostage would leave, so he started door-dashing everything. The hostage was able to safely escape the motel room, according to a Sweetwater police statement, and a crisis negotiator arrived on the scene and successfully negotiated Cooper's peaceful surrender. Cooper was charged with aggravated kidnapping and had active warrants for drug offenses, and apparently the hostage had a warrant as well. So I don't know if I subconsciously read this article at some point in time and decided to make this video, but I just think it's wild that bar for bar, this actually happened in real life. And I think this article kind of cements the fact that DoorDash itself, the algorithm, the app, the website, whatever you want to call it, is not going to do anything if you're ordering weird stuff. You kind of need a delivery driver to be brave enough and aware enough of what he's delivering to actually stop a crime from happening. But anyways, kudos to this delivery driver. If you made it to the end, thank you so much for watching. Maybe I'll see you next time.